Welcome back, Terrible Warriors, to our second story episode of Zombie World. Technically, this is part 3. If you are just joining us partway through because you found this podcast, 1, welcome. We're glad to have you. 2, we're halfway through this game, and we do them in arcs. And if you'd like to go back 2 episodes, and you can start at the beginning of our story so you can get caught up in what we are doing. We are playing Zombie World by Magpie Games. It is a powered by the Apocalypse game, but it does not use dice, and it doesn't even use printouts. Everything is provided in the box. We're doing everything on dry erase boards, which is really convenient and necessary because our characters can be quite temporary, as we've almost found out when we kept going to that bike card there, Sarah. Yeah. I am not alone at this table. I'm surrounded by my survivors of the Huckleberry Enclave, our visionary, our selfish visionary. Welcome back, Joe.
Thank you. I'm playing Sarah Davos.
And our heavy, the one pulling everyone out of trouble and keeping them alive, but do they even want to be alive? Welcome back, Sean.
Thank you. Playing Jimmy Shane over here.
And Velvet, welcome back to the table, our prophet.
Thank you. I am Father Pat Murphy. The future is us. We are the future.
Now, between episodes, we decided to let time pass. We got Kirby back from the river. Jack is missing, and, we only got his, just pulled away. And when I pulled from the time passes, your surroundings spill into new areas dangerously, which seems perfect for what we're up to. The river is flooded, and it's flooded because, according to your local maps, there's a dam upstream that might not be there anymore, and it's burst open, and it brought with it all the debris and zombies and contamination. You've all taken a lot of stress, so does someone want to check on the well?
I think it's important that we do. I'll check on the well.
Yeah, so the well, hand me the card. It's an advantage on our enclave. You fetch water for the enclave. On a hit, you will get to bring back plenty of water, and everyone will get to remove 1 stress. But on an edge, you'll inadvertently draw danger. On a miss, something will be wrong with the water source. So draw survival. How much do you have for survival?
I have 2.
So draw 2 cards from the survivor deck, please.
An edge.
You got an edge.
And a miss.
So that's perfect. So when you're out there, everyone clears stress because you're going to have plenty of water. And as you're drawing from the well, who are you out there with? Who's helping you
I'm
today?
out there with, I'm out there with Kirby.
Kirby's been staying with you at the barn since you brought him back from the river, and he's slowly been getting better and bandaged up, and he's healing. He might be able to go out and hunting soon, but that fall from the tree and the fight with the zombies, it was pretty harrowing, and he was exhausted after being up there all day, and so you've been looking after him, and it helps that you have all the nurses and medical staff as part of your cult staying in the barn, and Kirby's getting along. He's probably going to be following you very soon if you wanted. On an edge, you inadvertently draw danger. You are out. The well is really more of a reservoir that was kept out on the edge of the farm property when they used to have livestock before it was all lost when the zombie world happened. And so this is a place where they would feed water cows and stuff. And so it's an open source water reservoir, and it's all gravity based, right? But while you're out there and you're drawing water into the big canteen that you're going to bring back to the enclave for everyone else, you see the perimeter, the wooden fences of the edge of the property of the farm have collapsed. They've been crushed down, and out in the field now, you and Kirby are chatting and talking and watering. When you look up, between you and the barn and the field and in the field between you and the rest of the enclave now is not a swarm of zombies, but zombies have moved into the property and are just kind of walking around, and they're between you and them. And you could fool them, you could fight them, you could flee them, or given how small they are, you could just dispose of the deceased and try and just take them out silently. But it's you're pouring, you're walking, and maybe Kirby kind of laughs, and then it gets real quiet when you look up. Eyes are wide, and he's staring out, and they're now between you and the safety of the enclave. What do you do?
to try and take them out. I think that will bring us closer together, and I also think that it will keep the peace at home if I've put made my own hands dirty.
Disposing of the dead is a savagery.
Oh,
Draw.
well, maybe I don't do that. I wasn't born to be.
You could
savage.
direct an ally to do that. He is a hunter.
He is. He definitely has violence and survival on his side.
For each action on their materials and their skills, they would draw an extra card. So they normally only draw 2 cards when you direct them to action, but they can draw an additional card if it matches their skills and their equipment.
So it has a decoy and rifle.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what was the Kirby's skills?
Scavenging, survival, violence.
Yeah. So the rifle and violence,
Yes.
you could direct him to like take the zombie that's walked out into the field out, clear a path to the barn. You would draw 4 cards.
Kirby?
And then you don't have to dirty your hands.
Right. Kirby, are we up for this?
And he just kind of swallows. He hasn't used the rifle. He hasn't faced the zombies since that night on the river. But, he wants to get strong. He wants to get out. He wants to find Jack, right? Miss, edge, miss, edge. So I drew 4 cards. The best card I got was an edge. On an edge, the plan will work, but a GM will choose. They suffer a terrible loss, they endure serious harm, or they reveal their true nature. He clicks back the rifle and he shoots one of the zombies. He clicks back the rifle, he shoots back another zombie. And he's just cold and calculated, and like the warmth that Kirby used to have, the jovial hunter who'd come in and sling in rabbits and tell jokes, like that's gone. And you're just seeing this like hardened person now, and they reveal that to you as they go like they take out more than they needed to get back. Like they clear the field,
Right.
and then at that point the water is done filling, and you can wheel it back to the barn, and you take it back, and Kirby doesn't say much, but Kirby's getting stronger.
You're a man of action. Everyone will respect that of you. Thank you, son.
And he just slings his rifle over his shoulder and starts pulling in. But you almost see like this determination, and yeah. But also
watch out.
Also watch out. You might go too far. So that's a bit of a Kirby's change, folks. Meanwhile, when you get back with the water, there's an argument happening between Sarah and Priya. Sarah, you didn't get the supplies. They're running out. Now you've lost. You didn't bring Jack back. You didn't bring construction materials back. They're holding you responsible for this. And they hear the gunshots from the rifle back at the reservoir. And one of them is running up going like, what's going on? Is everyone okay? And Kirby's just like, fine. And just brings the water and brings it to a stop. And then, heads back to the barn. And Priya's like, and then what's going on with that over there? What's happening with him? What are you doing about this? We're not safe here. And they're getting onto the property now, and everything ever since the river flooded, where there's no more food. The wildlife has been scared away. There's more activity out in the forests. They're being pushed out of the city. If the city has flooded, whatever was in the city is now in the forests, and they'll soon be on the property. You were supposed to fix this. You have made things so much worse.
We got Jack back. We got Kirby back.
I mean, whatever you brought back, that was not Kirby anymore. But
So you're saying we shouldn't have gone at all?
I'm saying you're supposed to be looking after us. I thought you had some ideal about what the future was going to be like. Is this the future you're fighting for?
It's one step on that path. It's not an easy path. I never said it would be. We regroup. We make ourselves safe again. It's just going to take a lot of effort, and that's what we all signed up for.
Do you want to open up about your feelings or past, or do you want to just calm them down again? Because I feel like you and Priya are constantly doing this every morning.
We really are. We really are. I think maybe I'll try a different tact today.
Because if you go with sold, the NPC, you could raise their disposition or calm them down, but on an edge, they will ask for help, and you can mark stress to weasel out.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna open up to her a little bit and say, look, these times, it's not easy, but like this isn't the first time that I've had to deal with something very difficult. This isn't the first time I've had. Look, my job before all of this happened was shit in a lot of ways. And I did a lot of things I'm not proud of. But I'm proud of where we got to eventually. And of course I have regrets. And I regret that things didn't go better last night, but we made the best out of what we could. And I'm sorry we didn't do better.
So how much soul do you have? 2 soul.
I'm not talking about the future though, so I don't know if my visionary thing works.
Yeah, that's when you're also trying to calm an NPC down,
Okay.
right? And you can absolutely...
So I can either draw 2 soul or 3 steel, but I'm not sure if the steel is appropriate given what I'm trying to say.
When you're talking, you're kind of... I think you got to take 2.
I think I got to take 2. All right.
So selfish.
Shit.
Does anyone want to
Double
aid
miss.
or interfere?
Double miss.
Does anyone want to aid or interfere with...
There's not much you can do to interfere.
And now you're just let Sarah hang by their own rope?
I make a deep breath in as if I'm going to say something to help this situation. So yes, I'm going to help or interfere. We'll find
And you
out.
get 2 cards this time because we now know more about how selfish Sarah is. Right. So you can swap out either of those cards you drew with either of these 2 misses.
I will swap them both out because
Well, you
they're
only
exactly the same.
Oh no, 2 more misses.
Oh boy.
So you try to
Sarah's
help.
not
What
so
do you
good at
say
this.
though that doesn't make it better? Because you're still wrapped up in this, and you take your breath to be like, you're trying to calm Priya down or raise their disposition or convert them to the cause or something. You didn't
Yeah.
in any way.
Last night, 6 of us went out to the river. We had the material. Sarah had the material in hand. We almost had Kirby in hand, and then choices were made. Choices were made, and now there are 7 of us here.
And there's one of them out there. And what are you saying? You actually found material out there that you left?
That was his fault.
What is happening? Why are we trusting you on anything? And the rest of the crowd is starting to like the other city refugees are coming around like they don't know what they're doing. They're making it up as they go. They're just a bunch of fraudsters. Why don't we just rip down the barn and turn it into a bunch of our own cabins?
Sarah just yells, why
Why do you all get to stay in the barn instead and we're all cramped up either outside or in the house? I'm sick of living in the cellar.
Hey, hold on. Nobody's tearing down the barn. I have not seen anyone here.
Mark stress for
did.
jumping in, yeah.
Yeah. He's going to jump in. Nobody's tearing down the barn. I don't see you guys building a house. Got edge and a miss.
All right. Wow, that's literally every miss in the deck. Okay. So you got an edge. On an edge, the NPC will raise their disposition or this will calm them down. They will also ask for help and you can mark stress to weasel out.
I think he's going to go with calm them down.
Mm-hmm. Again. They're all on edge. You're not doing a great job.
Nope. He's not going to weasel out, though.
But a lack of privacy has now turned into a lack of security.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to stay here anymore. And if we had anywhere else to go, we'd have left by now. But this place needs to be secure. We need fences repaired. We need lights. We need security. We need to know what's out there. Something happened to that river, and we don't know what. We need answers. And if they're not going to look out for us, we need you to look out for us, Jimmy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which answers do you want? Obviously, we want all of them, but which one do you want first? Do you want to be secure here, or do you want us to leave and find out about a dam?
Sandy's sitting up on the porch being like, I just want to know where my boy is. And he kind of steps up and pounds his foot into the porch wood. You left him out there to die.
I didn't send him out there to die.
He spits in the ground, he runs in, and he slams the door. And the rest of the crowd kind of turns going like, yeah, like, what happened to Jack? You're supposed to go out and rescue him.
So now, do you want us to find Jack, find the dam, or build more fences?
I'm not in charge here. I want you to turn this place into a place of safety.
All right, we have our answer then.
Let's build some fences.
Agreed.
So
Welcome to episode 3, fence building, the RPG. Just there's actually a whole level in Red Dead Redemption 2 where you actually do like dun 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 dun, and you just like
Montage.
press A, left stick,
Wow.
raise the post, line up the post, and bang in the fence. And then you go through that and you spend the whole day in the game just building a fence on the ranch.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we won't roll all of that out, but in order to build the fence, you will need supplies. You can just go out there and chop trees. That would still, but it all counts as scavenging, right? Like it all works together as like one thing.
Right.
Or you could head into town and find some barbed wire, or you could go up to the dam and see what the hell happened there. And maybe there's some like explosives probably up there. I don't know. I don't actually know because I'm just playing along with you. But it's a vague request, but Priya is like, they're on the edge of like, they're going to leave and they're going to take things with them when they do. If you don't start convincing them this is safer to stay here than it is to just not go out and maybe look for another place. Like they hear there's a hospital up in the mountains they could stay at.
and quite honestly, like if Sandy keeps getting more and more pissed off at us, we might not have the option to stay.
They're getting
Yeah.
like you're calming them down, but you're not improving their disposition. They're getting hostile. They're going to start standing against you and start working against you soon. And if other opposition comes out, they might just straight up betray you. So things are getting real tense in Huckleberry Farm, and I just want to know what the three of you want to do for this home.
Sarah thinks we should go towards the town. It was the last we'd heard anything of Jack. Bringing back a body is probably better than bringing back nothing. And given the way that the water is flowing, there's probably quite a lot of supplies.
Where would you want to go into town? You want to just scavenge for supplies and go as we go, or do you want to propose a plan?
So her plan would be to go kind of along the river, looking for signs for Jack, looking for any supplies that we can get along the way. And if we don't, then probably she wants to go to this place that she's heard of before. And she's very dodgy on the details as she's telling you this. So she's like, it's where I used to... So I like had this gig for a little while. It wasn't like... It was like a kind of some hardware store, sort of. Kind of. Anyways, like, I'm sure they're still going to have supplies. And I think we should follow
And a big
up on
box
that.
store tends to not be in like the core of the city. It's still like suburbs. So
Yeah. So she like points on a map where this like place that she wants to go that is this quote big box store.
Jimmy's eyes just narrow. He's like, a gig, huh? And like he'll go along with it, but he doesn't trust you.
Yeah.
my mind is spinning. As the GM, I'm not aware of what your past cards are, but I am aware of what most of the past cards are, except for the ones from the farm and the mall deck, which we literally unpacked while we were shuffling today, so I have never looked at them. I have my suspicions, but I'll hold them to myself for now. I'm just gonna write.
Jimmy does know what I'm talking about, almost certainly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm writing my prediction on the back of this page here. I can show it to you later when it gets revealed. All right. So, who are you putting together a team? It's the three of you again?
For sure.
And this time, are you bringing the nurse or are you bringing someone else with you?
I'm going to suggest that we bring Travis.
Travis.
Now, Travis is...
Is he the
very-
courier?
he is... I don't know.
Oh, the pharmacist.
Pharmacist.
Yeah,
So,
they got their profession underneath their name in red.
Right. So I think that he would be a useful ally as we go to scavenge, both for medical and for the supplies to
Yeah,
construct.
Travis he's got this gnarly eye patch. He's kind of survival gear. Got a walking cane, but does he actually need it or does he just use it? It's very likely that the cane also has like a hidden blade that pulls out of it. Like it's really hardcore. But he's also good at scavenging and survival and has a small supply of medicine on hand. So if you were to find an injured Jack, he'd be a good field medic on hand. He's also, making sure everyone stays with their happy pills in the happy barn with all the happy people, with happy Father Pat. Yep.
On that note,
LSD. Everyone in that barn is just riding rainbows.
We are having a great time.
pharmacist. Okay, so Sarah's going to ask Darian to come
Can't
with her.
spell pharmacist without farm. Am I right? We're on a farm.
We're on a
everybody.
farm. And Darian's the journalist. She knows that his beat used to be in the part of the city that we're going, and he's also quite good at scavenging.
Yep. Also, Darian is one of your old friends, right?
Yeah, he's one of my old
Very
friends.
good chance Darian knows about your same past. And that's why you're bringing
for
Darian around.
sure.
Darian might have even reported on your activities.
I'm sure he
Yeah.
has. That's probably how I met him.
And Jimmy, you along for the ride?
Oh, Jimmy's along for the ride.
Yeah, you're not letting Sarah go off down this
Nope.
past little recollection journey without being there to witness that.
I want to see this building.
Absolute destructive.
I'm not bringing Sean, though. I'm going to leave him at home.
What would you like Sean to do while you're gone?
I feel like it's safer to leave somebody who's kind of tanky at home to look after people.
Yeah,
So I think
actually,
that's-
so what are you directing them to do? I can actually direct an NPC, and we can do that over, like when we return, we'll draw the cards to see what happened as time went.
Ooh, exciting. Okay. Just to protect the place, basically.
Hold the fort down.
There's a hole in the fence.
You're in charge. You're security now.
Yeah.
Chief of security.
Are we each able to do that
You
as
can
a
do
side
that,
thing?
yeah, if you'd
because
like.
I think Estella, who the daughter,
Yeah.
would
Oh, yeah.
also be on a good person on the side of the barn to regulate.
So are you in particular directing Estella to look after the barn?
Correct.
Not necessarily the enclave.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll return to those. Just I'm going to make a little note here on this index card when we come back. So Sean is left in charge, and Estella protect barn, just in case those two things might not be mutual.
Yep.
Yep.
I would not
Let's
be
be
surprised if
clear.
something is on fire when you return. So
Oh, dear.
you're on the river and you're making your way down to the city. Scavenge for supplies. Draw 3 from the survivor deck. You're out in beyond the safety of the enclave. We're out with the zombies. We're gonna have to draw from the bite deck if we're gonna keep scavenging for supplies. I told you construction equipment is 4 gear. That's the magic number we want to get to again.
Can Darian and Travis both help?
They can, but scavenging is done as the group.
Okay.
Right, and if you wanted to send Darian and Travis to direct to specific action, you could do so, and we would go through where they might suffer terrible loss, endure harm, reveal their true natures. But you can send them to specific action in line with their skills. But that's directing them to action as things reveal. Nothing's happening. We're walking down the river, where we're looking for debris and supplies, and there's things are getting. The river has the flooding has subsided. Since then, after the dam going down, things are kind of leveling out again. The water level is still higher than it used to be, but it's also meant that a lot of the debris that was floating down the river has now been caught up in trees and landing on the banks. And there's like bits of cars and bits of walls, and there's boxes and crates and all kinds of things and other kinds of the riverbank is covered in junk. So it's a great opportunity to scavenge. You could send Travis and Darian ahead to scout out and find even more or see what's going on. Absolutely. You can direct them to action. For scavenging for supplies, it's not tied to any one character. It's tied to the expedition of the group. And like I said, like the gear is just a currency in the game that is converted when you want to turn it into specific items that you would like to have, like weapons or things that you lose, right? Because we saw something breaks, could be the weapon you have on you. Now you're going to have to scavenge for some new weapons, which are going to count against your overall goal. I played a game where we had a scientist who wanted to get supplies for their lab, but everyone else needed to get food for the enclave. So what the scientist was scavenging, they were converting into lab supplies before the group could convert it into the food they needed.
Oh, shit.
Right. So you
All
consider how things like that play out.
Right.
Okay.
So
We're going to scavenge.
So there's no risk for
Yeah.
drawing
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
scavenging deck, but it's from the bite deck on who's drawing. So draw 3 cards for the survivor deck. 2, 3. How much gear did we get?
Miss.
Nothing.
Miss.
Nothing.
No.
Edge.
Edge. We got one.
We got one.
So
One gear.
it's a lot of crap. It's just a lot of junk out in the river. But you got one gear. One gear is like it can be turned into ammo, a flare. Something like that, right? But you got one gear. You got one gear guard. You're just kind of shoveling stuff into your backpacks and you're moving through. If you want to keep scavenging on the riverbank on the way to the city, you can draw from the bite card, or we can arrive at this location into this plan of yours, or we can keep looking for supplies. I'm happy to do either. Like if you're not feeling up to it, because we've only got 9 cards left in the bite deck, we can just move on to where you wanted to take us, Sarah. You've got the vision. You're leading the way. We're all trusting you.
I think we should keep an eye out for Jack and keep moving.
Okay, so you're calling out for Jack, and you don't hear anything. It's become a clearer day, and you're crunching around the junk, and Travis and Darian are keeping an eye out. And where are you leading us, Sarah?
Oh, it's one of the warehouses for my old gig.
Okay, so like an industrial complex.
Yeah, that's probably the closest to what.
So the river,
I would say.
If you think of like here in Toronto, we've got like 5 main rivers, but 3 of them are underground. At some point, the river reaches an aqueduct and reaches like the grates in the soil, and it's going down into this underground pipeline. And of course, the water is flooded up because everything's gotten trapped along the bars. It's certainly wide enough that a person could have fallen through it, but it's also possible, given everything that was going on, that this could have been a point where they got pushed onto the shore. Given how much flood damage there is, there's no trail, there's no tracks to see, and you don't have a Kirby or a tracker on you. But here you're now at the edge of the forest and the river, and you're back in urban society, and you can see the road and the warehouses. Where do you lead us?
I think we should take a minute to really make sure Jack's not in this area, and then we can press on.
Okay. All right. So if you want to push your luck, you can scavenge for supplies around here. Because I don't know where we're going. I'm Darian and Travis here.
Are supplies Jack, or
it can be turned into that. There isn't really a thing for searching for someone like that. I'm waiting for a threat to arrive that I can be like, oh, here's a place where Jack could conceivably be.
okay, so it sounds like
nothing dramatic happening here. It wouldn't,
right?
It doesn't work, and I don't know what your past is, so I'm at this disadvantage in terms of I'm along for the journey here, and you're leading us to this place where I'm waiting for the shoe to drop.
Okay, cool.
Right, so you can push your luck and draw from the bite card and scavenge for more supplies. You have 1 gear. Because you also have building fences is like this other thing you want to do in the enclave.
Right.
That will also generate some prompts for me where like I might get external threats, zombies, other kinds of things that are going to happen where we can play that out. I wouldn't want to do that unfairly without something failing. So kind of want to know what you're doing. You also like you can make a plan, you can assess a situation, you can really like opening up to someone. You can open up to the other players here if you want to take a breather. And when you open up and tell someone about your feelings or past, you can draw on soul. On a hit, both players will clear stress, and you will each be able to look at your face down identity cards. So you could reveal to the prophet who you used to be, or you could ask them a question and you must answer them honestly. So this might be an option. If you're like, what the fuck is going on? You might use this chance here at the end of the river to open up to Sarah, and on a successful hit, you can either trade your identity cards, or if you don't want to do that, you can ask Sarah a question that they have to respond to honestly.
Well,
so that's that. Or we can push our luck, draw the bite card, and scavenge supplies again.
Or I can make a plan for...
Or you can make a plan for where we're going. Or you can just declare where we're going, and I will just tell you how horrible it is.
Great.
well, I definitely need to open up now that we have a moment. We haven't had a moment for a while.
It's...
Can we just talk for a second?
Maybe Jimmy, Travis, Darian, the three of you are fishing around the mouth of the sewer grate to see, like, maybe Jack's there.
Sure. What did you... What were you thinking?
Where the hell are we going?
So,
The truth.
that's complicated. It's better if I just show you, I think.
What's your soul?
3.
Draw 3 cards. Because also, if you don't do well on this, your mark stress is missing it out.
Triumph.
Oh, perfect. Because on an edge, they look at your face down identity card. On a hit like a triumph, you don't have to reveal your identity card. You can just look at Sarah's. On an edge, they can ask you a question that you have to answer honestly. But on a triumph, the question only has to be one way. Sarah can ask as many questions as you want, but you are not compelled to respond.
Wonderful.
Right?
Okay, so this means
You
showing...
could try to interfere. You could mark stress, draw 1 card, and swap out
I mean, I think...
if you wanted. But then we also know you're interfering, right?
Yeah.
You get wrapped up in the situation.
I think, I mean, she knows she's taking them
I think you're okay with
anyways,
this. Yeah,
so
let this happen.
she's not thrilled.
Well, now every
But-
player at the table knows who you used to be except the GM.
It's true. and our dear listeners.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So you learned something about while the audience is over in the river and we come back, we realize that out of frame, Sarah's divulged the secret information on the TV show, and we don't know yet. But something shut you up about that.
Are you happy now? Is this what you wanted to know?
It helps.
I'm glad it helped one of us.
Do you think you know where we're going now?
Yes.
What is going on? Oh my goodness. I love it. Then maybe Darian knows. Travis is the only one left in the group who doesn't know who he used to be, and that's Travis is my What is going on?
Look, it's we're just going to somewhere that, like, I just have some connections. We're gonna just try to make this work as best as we can with the situation that we're in, and it'll be good. Like, we're gonna get the supplies we need.
He's using his cane in the water and pushing things around. He's like, I got a bad feeling about this.
You and me both, pal.
Okay.
All right, so I go into the sand near the river, and I draw a small map of the city. I point to I think 'cause you were from the suburbs, right, Pat? Jimmy's from the city, probably knows the area I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of in the warehouse. It's like in this weird area in between some warehouses and like what starts being a bit more residential.
Sure. Turned into like some like Amazon warehouse distribution center.
Sure.
Yeah, something like along those lines. And so she marks a map on where she wants to go, and she shows everyone where she thinks, given her knowledge of the city, where she thinks is going to be a fairly easy way to get there.
Sounds like you're making a plan.
I think I'm making a plan.
Is this
boy.
a careful, stealthy, and smart plan?
That's her style.
So that's a survival. So
All
that's a
right.
survival style. So that's only
So,
2 cards.
Two
Now,
cards.
is it supported by plenty of resources and people?
So Darian and Jimmy also both know the area.
I would
that
say
I'm
yes,
talking
then.
about.
Yep.
Are you basing this plan on accurate, current information?
Current is a word I would not use.
No, this is all pre-apocalypse.
100%.
Take -1, so you don't get that bonus. So you're going to get 2 cards for your survival.
All right.
You're going to get 1 card for supported by plenty of resources and people. Is there significant opposition that would interfere with the plan?
Probably.
-1. Go back to 2.
Wait, so significant in position, or
That would interfere with the plan.
like internally or
That's
external? Just in general?
This is a question I'm asking you.
Yeah, let's
sometimes
go-
I don't have the full picture.
Let's
so
go with yes.
Yeah,
and-
that would make
okay,
sense.
you're
let's
being
go with
on.
yes.
-1. Is there significant dissent about what plan to follow? I mean, Travis is like, I got a bad feeling about this, but he trusts the prophet.
We'll go for it.
So
Okay.
minus like where we're
1,
going,
but
a plus 1. So we're just rolling with survival. You get
All right.
2 cards.
I get 2 cards.
That is it. Since this is technically a zombie move, if anyone would like to increase the draw, you could draw from the bite deck. Because Sarah is very much on point as we leave the river and we head into territory unknown.
I will be accepting a bite card.
All right.
Velvet draws.
Threat, more zombies.
Okay. So
All right.
whatever you're leading us into zombies. That
Yeah.
is going to happen even if you succeed at this.
Yeah.
That is happening.
Yeah, that sounds
Your
about right.
actions will draw zombies to the area. But you get to draw 3 cards.
All right. Let's do this.
Jimmy's not helping with this.
No.
No.
Jimmy's all right with
There's
this
very
plan.
few cards left in that bite deck.
All right. I've drawn 3. I got an edge in my first draw.
Okay.
Nice.
I got a miss on my second
Uh-oh.
and a triumph on the third.
Nice.
Yeah. So on an
Nice.
edge, things still go wrong. However, on a triumph, you arrive in the middle of your plan in decent shape.
So should
But
I?
you're going to arrive in decent shape, and there's going to be zombies there. But
All
they're
right.
not on you; they're just around, and you're taking us right into the center of it.
I am. Should I describe the building?
You're basically the GM right
All
now.
right,
You're
cool.
describing where we're going because I
Okay.
still have no idea.
Okay, so
I feel like an eye-patched paramedic.
The LSD just hit again.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a strong hit.
so the building that you're going to is incredibly unassuming, except there's a giant flagpole in front of it.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like you have not seen a bigger flagpole in front of this very unassuming 1-story building.
Okay.
And the flagpoles,
The hell?
the flagpole has,
I'm really glad I have Travis to roleplay as. He's in the dark as much as me.
it has both the country's flag as well as like the local flag in front of it. And you see the flag of what looks like a regiment.
Oh no.
And inside the building,
Hell. This is Travis entirely.
you see that there's like if you peek into the windows, you can see that there's what look to be armored vehicles inside.
What have you taken us to, Sarah?
Resources.
And then when that happened, though, as you're going through the chain link, something happens, and maybe it's Darian. The gate swings open, but it squeals. And then part of it, and then the hinges break off, rusted from the elements, crash into the ground, bang, and then at that point, the streets are behind you, and you've got no choice but to run in, or I guess fight them or fool them. But you find yourselves like they come out. They were in the alleyways. They were behind other buildings. One was under a car, but they were all dormant. How long they've just been lying there for however long the zombie world has been around, maybe a few years at this point, right? And they were just dormant. And then the sound of the metal gate, and Darius like, oh shit, and crash, boom. Think like a fool of a took, right? When they're in the mines of Moria, and the helmet goes bang, 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 rattle, 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 rattle. And when the fence falls, and then like another thing collapses over, and it causes, and just like, and then maybe it hits the side of maybe like a FEMA kind of tent, and it takes out a pole, and the whole thing falls in, and it creates like this domino effect of just collapsing debris. And Darian's like, no, crash,
What the hell, man?
and you are now the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you surrounded by a swarm of zombies.
Okay.
What, like, you have to, you can flee them to go into the resources. You can fight them and try and get that fence back up. There is an option here of barricading a place where you can barricade against the zombies, and on a hit, the location will be mostly secure, and then you get like some breathing room where I'm not just pressing down on you. So you could, before you go in, you could go into one of the armored vehicles and just close the door, get into a tank and just close it in, and then you can tell us what the hell's going on, right? So you got barricade as a move we haven't done yet, or fight, flee, fool. First thing though is who is on point, because they're the ones who are going to be drawing.
Right.
Keep in
Right.
mind, fight is savagery, fool is steel, flee is survival, barricading is also survival. You will notice your soul doesn't really matter when you're fighting zombies.
So I know what Sarah would do if she was on point, but I'm not sure.
Sarah wants to go on point. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, Sarah wants to
okay
go
with the
on
rest of
point.
the table?
I'm fine with
I
it.
don't think the rest of the table gets a vote in
cool,
this.
cool.
Yeah, so
All right.
Sarah's on point.
So she just starts running for the back of the building.
So is that fleeing the dead?
Yeah, she wants to flee the dead.
Yeah. You're not trying to barricade or fight or fool them.
No.
So you're on point. You
I'm on
want to
point.
flee. And
I
you're,
wanna flee.
Follow me. We're going in.
Yep.
Oh, hell. Jimmy just...
Oh, hell. All right. Is
I-
anyone drawing from the bite card to help? Because you're only on survival. You're only drawing 2 cards.
Only trying to.
Jimmy's going to do it.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Bite.
Are you serious?
Gotta
No.
Yep.
No, Jimmy.
Jimmy's
Okay.
bitten.
So something is going to happen here. And we know what that means, but you might still make it inside.
Yeah.
All depending on you get 3 cards though. Now, if you want to draw, we will reshuffle this entire deck
Including the bite?
and
Including
including
the
the bite
bite.
back in.
Yep.
Because the moment the
yes.
bite card is revealed,
Right. It's shuffle.
there always needs to be a threat of the bite.
Of course.
So this is one of the situations where it is possible for both of you. I'm so sorry for Jimmy.
I feel bad.
But whoever we meet inside this building might be your next character.
Yep. I was so close to revealing his past, too.
You still have an
As you
option to
die.
do
Still
that.
can.
Yeah, as he dies.
You could totally milk this out. It's inevitable. It doesn't mean it's instant.
Right.
True.
We've got 15 minutes left in this episode, so
Oh, boy.
just think about this. Think about Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
Speaking of the long game, it sounds like you set him up completely.
There's this moment where you draw that bite card in this game, and you just
It does sound that
you
way.
get to have to sit with it. You're like,
Yep.
this is it's
yeah.
in narratively you haven't been bitten yet.
No. You got to figure that out.
You're going to be. So, do you still want to help?
I will be
Knowing
helping,
that this deck's
yes.
been refreshed?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I had to... I needed that threat of just a threat. More zombies.
Okay, so now
Very
we're
cool.
at the point where if we don't
Horde.
flee, we will have to avert disaster,
Right.
Because it will get worse and it's going to turn into like a full-on horde
Okay.
of zombies. There might be zombies inside now when we get in.
Whoops.
So
It's fine.
That was
fine.
your
You
plan.
you get to draw
all
4
along.
cards though.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Oh,
I drew the whole stack, by the
Yeah.
way, accidentally. And 4. All right. Okay.
all right.
All right. Triumph. First card.
All right, cool. That's
Well
the
done.
rest.
Nice.
You got a triumph, which also meant it was the first card. So so those bite cards were in vain.
Wow.
Oh,
Right.
Jimmy.
Because it was
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Okay, so on a
Jimmy,
triumph,
You're so fine.
you're going to
was.
flee the dead. You will get to run into another danger or crisis. You leave something or someone behind. You draw from the bite deck or suffer serious harm.
So I like bang on the window,
Yeah.
and does anything happen? Like, does anybody come in or any? Or
Should anything happen?
they could.
I think
it
they're all
zombies?
this
They're
now.
all this now. Okay. So she's banging on the window, like
And
what?
they're not answering.
And they're not answering.
And they're getting closer.
And so
Jimmy,
she,
you got to grab a rock or a bat or something.
Just, he's grabbing whatever, like a 2x4, and just
You're
starts hitting
pushing
zombies.
them back.
So she grabs something out of her pocket. Finds like a little.
Darian's freaking out.
She finds a little electronic thing that somehow is still running on
Yeah.
maybe a generator.
Yeah.
It's really not clear. She slaps this thing that she's just pulled out of her pocket on it, and the door's open.
Oh, shoot. Beep. And the little green light, and there's a click, and the door opens, and Darian's like, what are you doing with that?
And she just kind of shows him, and it's an FBI badge.
And he's like, all this time, I was investigating you, you were investigating me.
What? You knew this? Ugh.
No, I didn't. I thought you were part of a crime syndicate. This isn't the time. There's zombies here. We gotta get inside.
Gosh. And so I've asserted my government mandated authority over the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You asserted, yeah. So you beep it. The door unlocks and it opens up, and you're getting in. And is this when it happens?
I think this is when it happens. Jimmy's behind everybody. He's like, I'm going to
Pushing.
hold them off.
Yeah,
Just
so
get
you're
in
pushing.
there.
The door is open. You can still get inside, but you've been bitten.
He's going to try and get inside
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We fleed the dead. We said we got to triumph on that. You don't have to stay behind. The door gets closed though, and do you show them or do you hide the bite mark that you got on your side?
Jimmy is going to show them.
So the door is closed and you lock it, and you can hear inside moaning and shambling, the sound of the light. And as you get in, something click as all the lights come on into the hallway. And as the lights come into the hallway, boom, 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 boom. It's just a hallway full of uniformed federal zombies.
Oh, hell.
Oh, fuck.
And the whole place is like Resident Evil. Things have fallen over. Desks have been done. This place was a federal safe house.
Yeah, an armory,
it was
federal armory.
It was like a headquarters. It was actually set up in the early days of the outbreak to deal with riots that were happening in the city. And then this place was supposed to be a bastion, and that's maybe what it was called. It was called Bastion, and it's all just like shattered, and the fluorescent lights are still flickering, but the generator's still running. Things are still happening, but it got overrun who knows how long ago. But then just as there's no time to think about all the zombies, both of you look down. Jimmy can't even hide it. The blood is coming all over his side, and there's a big gash where one of the zombies got in and bit out a side of his stomach.
I'm not going to make it, guys. I'm sorry.
However long it takes to change is up to the group, right? Because every zombie world is a little different. But I do like the Romero side where you've got time to think about it. It's not 28 days later.
Yeah.
It's Land of the Living Dead where it's like, all right. So Jimmy, you can still help out here while this is going, but you've got this choice now. You've barricaded this door. They're all on the outside, but they're also all in the inside. Who's going on point? Do you fight, fool, or flee the dead?
Sarah just looks absolutely panicked. This wasn't the plan.
This
This was not the plan.
We have to fool the dead.
I don't think Jack's here, says Travis, Captain Obvious.
Look, what are we here to get?
Ammunition, building materials. They should all be here. They should be on the lower levels.
You point me in the direction, I'll get you there.
She puts her hand on Jimmy's shoulder, and she's like, I've wronged you so many times. I don't deserve this.
Look, we get through this. Before I go, I just want you to smoke one up with me.
And there's a big fire axe on the ground.
I got it in here in my pocket, so he's going to reveal that he was a dealer.
See, and that's Darian knew that, thought that you were both dealers and was investigating the drug syndicate. You were playing me this whole time. I don't even know who you are.
I've played a lot of people over the years.
He was on the drug beat.
I'm starting to regret that.
Okay. I actually thought you might have been a prized fighter, was my prediction. And we were heading to like an underground fighting ring.
All right,
and I
that
thought
would have been
the
good.
two of you were part of this underground crime thing.
I mean, not too far off.
I thought you were not a dealer. I thought you were a biker or a bouncer as one of the others, as you were like in like that. And then you would have been running the organization that Sarah was fighting in. And that could have been this whole like interesting thing. But instead it was the dealer. You were the informant to the federal officer.
And I did not want to be back here.
No.
Bad memories.
Oh boy. So there's a fireman's axe. You can run out and roll savagery and fight the dead and greatly reduce those numbers.
That is what he's going to do.
And Sarah,
and because you've already drawn the bite card, I won't leave it up. You could I'll let you just play this out to the end.
And before all that happens, she pulls a lighter out of her.
He's going to light one up and go.
You were saving this one.
Yep.
You had it in your vest.
Last two. All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Savagery it is. All right, we have got Miss, Opportunity, Edge, Miss, and Miss.
Mark one more stress.
Yeah.
Tell us what your trauma card was.
Gamble, actually. He was a gambler.
And you finally run out of luck.
Yep, he's taking a big risk, and it did not pay off this time.
So the best you can do with your axe is you can just go banging on the walls, and you can lead them out.
On a merry dance.
Yeah.
And Sarah looks like she's trying really, really hard to keep it together as she leads the rest of the group.
You lop a few heads off, you cut some of them down, but there's just so many. You're trying to get them out of every room and follow you out. And there's another entrance out, and you're able to get out. You get outside, you close the doors, and you jam it with the axe so they can't get back in. And then when you're out, you're like, All right, let's do this. And you just start swinging arms.
You just hear a yell from outside the building. And it's over for Jimmy.
And that's why we use a dry eraser. And you can wipe your character.
Ugh.
Now, your NPC allied will just move into a neutral position. What I might do right now is show how fast it is. Hand me back your past, present, and trauma cards.
Yeah.
There's someone hiding here. And that's going to be this person that we're going to meet, who's going to join this enclave potentially and help out our... This place hasn't been a bastion for a while, but someone was using this to fool the dead. They were using it as a sanctuary, as their own little enclave, all alone, all by themselves. This is who you used to be, that we don't know face down. You can choose the advisor or the guide.
What?
When you
wow.
offer someone advice, draw 1 to help them, or take +1 steal, and you clear stress when you lead others through danger.
Oh, boy.
So it might be just like,
Perfect.
you go out and then this other person's like, come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, I'm going with guide, I think.
And then you have your trauma card, how you handle the stress of the world. And that's your new character.
Oh, boy.
And is that what happens then? Is like, you're all like wiping back your tears. Jimmy sacrificed himself to do this. And Travis is like, well, what the hell do we do now?
We go get the
And
materials.
then there's like this hatch opens up in this floor that you didn't see that was there. This helmet with these flashlights come on, night vision goggles. This head comes out. It's like, what are you waiting for? Get in! And that's our new character.
Yep.
What's his name?
Ethan Jones.
Ethan Jones.
Yep.
Amazing.
So that's just where we end. That's where we're gonna. Who's Ethan Jones?
Who is Ethan Jones?
Deep in the in the old building of Bastion, and we're looking for construction materials, looking for ammunition, we're looking for things to go save. We're maybe even looking for communications equipment to find out if Jack is still alive out there. And this place was an information network. It obviously still has power. It's no longer overrun with the dead. So you have. Jimmy's sacrifice has led to new opportunities, and we will find out exactly what they mean in our next and final episode in our run through the zombie world. Sarah, I don't think you expected to be the one to survive the others. I think you were expecting to go down before anyone else.
Yeah.
And for Jimmy to take the hit like that, you're like, this isn't fair.
No, absolutely.
So for the Terrible Warriors, I've been your GM, Justin Eacock, and our Survivor's Guilt visionary,
The absolutely devastated Sarah Davos, played by Joanna Drummond.
Mark Stress, for the loss of your dear friend. Our prophet, we still don't know where you're from. We still don't know what you're doing, but you're holding your cards close to your chest, but you're gathering more to your flock. You got 2 more people here on this group that you might be able to win over.
Well, one of them was mine.
Oh, yeah, one of them, yeah. Travis is, but you got Darian. Darian's having a crisis of faith over here.
Understandable. But I'll bring him to the flock. I am Father Pat Murphy, played by Velvet Duke.
And playing our heavy, now our guide, Ethan Jones.
I'm Sean Harbachuk, formerly Jimmy.
Rip Jimmy.
Rip Jimmy.
Rip Jimmy.
We hardly knew you. Pour one out.
Light one up.
Light one up. Smoke if you got him.
Hashtag justice for Jimmy. And we'll be back next week with our final episode of Zombie World. Until then, thank you for playing games. Thank you for making your table successful to other players. And be good to each other. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.